as I was voicing my love for what Stephanie Vaquer brings to the ring. It wasn't well received, but I guess we're rolling. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to another episode of the world-renowned, the award-winning, the most amazing, illustrious Black wrestling podcast run by us here at the Kayfabe Cowboys podcast. Yo, we are back for another week. We are back after Mania, post-Mania. We've been booed at Raw. We've been booed at SmackDown. We've been booed at NXT. We've turned heel. A lot of us have been getting some negative reviews by our contemporaries, but yet it's all love. And I just want to start this episode by saying, kayfabe sticks together. So what you're seeing right now is the gorgeous one, GA, the one that's going to the one that's going to get us started off, that's going to pivot to the one that gives us all of our audio and visual needs. The man who's drinking muscle milk as we speak. The you know what I'm saying, 185 Live. The man, the myth, the legend, the multi-million-dollar media mogul, Brother Shadrick. Say what's up to the folks, mate.
How y'all doing today? I've kind of had a long week, but the highlight of my week will be this conversation because I've been looking forward to this conversation for the last 2 weeks. So I'm ready to get to it.
And also on the screen, we have the man that he's limousine riding, jet flying all the way over to the beach in Hampton. The newest addition to the POC bartending staff mixologist extraordinaire,
Mr. Rum and Red Bull himself.
Yeah, Mr. Nicky Kinks. Brother Legend, say what's up to the folks, man.
And this is why I'm going to be Hill Legend today, because y'all have started already. I was about to ask you, do we need to blur out the muscle milk till they send the check? But you know,
Yeah, we might need to.
I'm drinking rum and
and listen, after my first weekend of Tequila Fest, boy, it was a weekend, y'all.
Tequila Fest sounds like a time.
It was a time. I left limping because we still getting back normal.
Mm-hmm. It sounds like a scantily clad time as well.
I would neither confirm nor deny those accusations.
I feel like tequila goes with like half naked. Like I feel like those two kind of go hand in hand.
I mean,
it's very arriba.
They definitely do.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Well, maybe one day we need to film on location. I feel like that'd be something good for the people. It might be good for us too. But so I don't want this to come as a surprise because this is a segment that comes every week, and I'd imagine that it's here to stay. So I'm just going to go ahead and pivot to the man that gives us the icebreaker question that we have come to know and love. Shut up, Nick. Don't. We love it. We love it. We've accepted it. It's a part of our lives now, and we need our icebreaker. Brother Shadrick, what you got for us today, bro?
I don't know if y'all know, but this segment has been nominated for like a Woody Award. So hopefully we win that.
It's been nominated for a Slammy.
A Slammy, yeah. A Woody and a Slammy,
Yeah, Woody.
But today's icebreaker, I actually have two quick icebreakers. We're gonna be in and out on this one. So first icebreaker is that's wild. But yeah, first icebreaker is, who is your favorite wrestler who is not a Hall of Fame caliber wrestler?
Ooh.
Like not somebody like Christian who's not in the Hall of Fame yet, but sooner or later he's probably be there. But somebody who probably has no chance of being in the Hall of Fame.
Okay, so I got to typically do what I always do. Do y'all view Goldust as a Hall of Famer?
Yes, I do actually.
Shattered dreams, baby.
Mine is
okay.
Mine is Test. For some reason, I was always a Test guy.
Really?
Yeah, he was like one of my I thought he could be like world champion, but then it just fell apart.
If I have to go back in the day, I'm gonna go to Tonka. There was something about when that music hit, and like very racist in today's time. Mm-hmm. But I was a Tatanka guy. I just knew that he was gonna be world champion.
Okay.
Even worse is that my homeboy used to jokingly call him Tatank Top. And then he also found out that he's part Lumbee Indian, Native American. Wow. So now he's like fully registered with the Lumbee tribe. So
You got
it was self-hate. For me, I could go very obscure.
Berserker.
Hell no. Nah. But we stick with WWE, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
All right, so I won't go too obscure then. WWE, I would have to go with Val Venus.
it would be that for you. It really would be that for you. It makes
Hello,
sense
lady.
because you're a
Good
creep.
choice.
Yeah. I was actually gonna
Hey,
say
man.
Billy Kidman. That was actually gonna be my first answer.
Oh, this 7-year itch.
Yeah, it was Billy Kidman or Dean Malenko. Just okay.
Dean Malenko is very boring, by the way.
I don't know if y'all remember from WCW in the '90s, a dude named the Z-Man. I used to fuck with the Z-Man.
Oh yeah. I forgot
Yeah,
what
I
he
used
was.
to
Tom Zink or something like that.
Oh,
Yeah, I
that's
used to
case.
fuck with the Z-Man.
Then let's go Glacier.
Yeah.
Oh, dog, the vignettes leading up to Glacier's debut were phenomenal, bro.
Crazy.
And then he ended up being trash.
Yeah,
Absolute trash.
Yeah, he was very mid poo.
Yeah. What's your second one?
I was gonna say also can't forget about Ernest the Cat Miller. But
Okay.
But all right, so for my second icebreaker, I'm gonna have to go with
Hey, that's the real star of the show.
Facts.
Hall of Fame worthy.
Yeah. So for my second icebreaker, since Mania has passed, if you could have changed one booking decision from the show, which one would you have picked?
From the show that took place.
Yeah.
Decisions. That's again we get into that category. But by booking, I think you mean who won, who lost.
Yeah. If you could just switched it. Yeah. If y'all thinking out, let me hop out there with mine real quick.
Go ahead.
I would have to go with. I feel like Naomi should have beat Jade. I feel like we could have got a lot more mileage out of Naomi as this heel if she would have won.
But I think the answer why came out recently, and we'll discuss that real quick, briefly in our later segments. I'm going to go with the Rey Fenix loss. He was too new in WWE. While it's great to have your moment, to be taking a loss like that on the big stage. Even if it was like a DQ, fine with that. But just a flat out loss, even with cheating, nah, too soon.
I would go with Becky Lynch and Lyra Valkyria losing. It served no purpose for Liv and Raquel to lose, like only for them to win it back the following night.
Right.
I feel like Becky's heel turn could have been accomplished at Mania with them losing or her blaming it on Lyra. It seemed like it would have been on a bigger stage, but yeah.
Okay.
Makes sense. Well, I mean, since we're kind of already talking about Mania, let's kind of. It was 2 weeks ago. We didn't get a chance to get together last week. Busy lives, stuff happens. Let's kind of talk about your highlights from night one, if you have any. So, if you need a reminder, I do too. So take your time. But go ahead, G. It looks like you already have an answer.
Well, before you get into that, let me just kind of start it off with.
We only got 10
I feel like
seconds.
the only way we can talk about Mania is if we play the song for a second.
No, we don't. We don't have to do this. Is it 10 seconds up that YouTube gives?
Hey, and I got on Travis Scott shirt.
I think our 10 seconds is up. I'm about to get demonetized.
We ain't monetized to begin with. Okay. I feel like we just had to start off that way.
Had to, man. I'm telling you, man, it's the official WrestleMania theme song, bro. Yeah. We got to stay on brand. I would think my highlight for night one gotta be because night one was that was the 4-way, right?
That was night two.
Okay. Damn, what was night one?
The triple threat.
The 4-way. Yeah.
The IC
title.
Oh, you talking about the IC title? Okay.
Yeah. So that would be my highlight for night one, the triple threat: Punk, Roman, Seth, and all that went along with it. I got to go with that.
Agreed. I think the pedigree the spear into the pedigree was probably one of the best spots I've seen in quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it had to be that match for me for night one. I will say the Jey Uso. We were all together night one. Yeah. And I think we were all kind of thrown off by how quickly the match ended. I think we were probably in the middle of talking and the match was over. Like, that was crazy.
Yeah.
But his brother coming out, him not knowing, that was a moment too. Hey, girl. That was a moment too. Just to kind of see the brothers. Because you felt that was real.
That was emotional. Yeah. Hey, nigga still don't want to put Rikishi on the WWE screen, but yeah, whatever.
He allowed why.
Yeah. Shot, what was yours?
For me, like, it has to be the triple threat. Like, even from the entrances to the moves, hearing Cult of Personality Live. One of my favorite,
Mhm.
little ditties.
Everything you.
Yeah. So like, just that match. Like overall, I'm gonna just hop out there. Overall, Mania was trash. So it only had a couple of.
Here we go.
It only had a
Well,
couple of highlights, and the triple threat was one of them. So
before you pull the guns out, we can't call Mania trash because people don't feel that way. We'll get to that in a moment. All right.
mm,
E-
mm, mm.
Night 2. So wait, Mania was what, 10 matches, right?
I feel
Yeah.
longer than that.
Pause.
If we're counting Randy Orton, maybe 11. But let's say Mania was 10 matches. So you have for night 1
That's
the main
wild.
event being.
That is
I try to
that is
keep
nasty.
it, but I'm the freaky one. For night 1, we've got the main event being the top match, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, let's go to night 2. I'm gonna go last.
All right. Well, I'll go first. My favorite event from night 2 is the 4-way. For the IC title. I'm gonna go with that.
And mine
Any
was the
particular
women.
moment?
Yeah. Mine was the women's triple threat. Like, it was everything I expected it to be. Even though I still wanted it just to be Ripley versus Belair, I was cool with the triple threat because it ended up being probably one of the best matches of the whole weekend.
Oh, they cooked.
Yeah.
They definitely did.
Yeah.
Still mad our girl didn't pull it out, or at least my girl. You know how GA gets. Didn't pull it out.
Bro, here we go. I go ahead.
Hey,
Do your thing. Do your thing.
hey. I hate that Bianca took the pin. I feel like that was unnecessary to me in that
I think
moment.
it was bad though because she was in a pin to win, and she got hit with the finisher while she was in the pin.
Which means the person is double whammy because they got that pin to win plus this one. Make Rhea eat the pin.
Yeah.
Hey,
And you
I feel
keep
like
technically you keep the streak alive if you do that. If she didn't lose,
it's not okay.
but we
they had
understand
an
that you
opportunity
prefer.
to do something dope, and they just floundered it for no reason.
The other reason why I'm not a fan of that is because that's the same way she won her last championship. Well, not that she won it this time, but Io came down and did the same thing overseas or wherever that was, where we thought that Bianca tore her knee up and then same type of ending.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you said the Intercontinental Championship. Shout out to Dirty Dominic Mysterio winning the belt. That was a moment.
Yeah. He's finally got his comeuppance, man. He's I think his face turn has happened before our eyes. And he could probably be a front runner for best wrestler in the world at some point. I mean, not for as far as like ring tactician, but like as far as having one of the best years in wrestling. That's what I mean.
Okay, because
I said not as far as a tactician, not what he does in ring, but just like overall, like just the momentum that he has right now. It's like it's probably going to be one of the better stories in wrestling this year.
He would definitely get the most improved award, but
yeah.
In ring wise, he's still kind of meh.
Hey man, you know what I'm saying? He gets the Bo Outlaw Award for heart, hustle, and grit.
Not the Bo Outlaw.
All right, well, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Nobody has said anything about the main event.
Yeah, it was.
That's the only thing that needs to be said about it.
Yeah, I didn't necessarily like the match. I liked the outcome. I'm glad Cena won. Cody needed something new. So I'm pleased with it. Don't like how we got there, but I'm pleased with how that.
You just saying
that
that as
ended.
a Cody hater, though.
No, I'm saying that objectively, as Cody needs more. He needs more. He needs something to motivate him now. Like, because I've said it all along, and I'm putting away my Cody hate right now. I will not say anything to discredit Cody Rhodes right now. I won't do anything to besmirch the White Wolf. He needs to be on the chase. The money in Cody is the chase and completing and finishing the story. And I think all of us can attest that his title reign kind of got boring. And I think it was just every week I'm gonna come out here. I'm gonna do, I'm gonna run through the hits. I'm gonna talk about why I'm X, Y, and Z. No, motherfucker. Like, you can't be an underdog champion. Like, the story in you is being the underdog to try to go get the belt. So I think this refreshes and resets his storyline and gives him new motivation. And it opens it up for him to get engaged in some feuds that might not be for the title. That's kind of what I'm excited about. Like, let's see how deep his character can be when it doesn't involve a title.
You don't look at Dominic as an underdog champion? It's just a question.
But
Okay.
but what I'm getting at is week to week, he was always trying. His story was trying to convince people. I got to convince people that I'm the champion. I got to convince that I can overcome all odds. Like, nigga, you already have the title. Like, you've overcame the odds. Like, talk your shit. Like, be the best. You can't always have to overcome obstacles. You're the champion. You won,
Hey,
and you
Tyrone,
always
calm
had
down.
and you always had champions advantage. So if somebody cheats and you lose and you win by DQ or whatever, like, you got champions advantage, man. Like, you're not the underdog anymore. You got the belt. So, you know what I mean? That's just the way I looked at it, man.
How do we feel how is Cena doing right now? Like, even though Cena has been champion 17 times, I feel like this heel run isn't doing anything for him or for anybody else. The match at Mania was trash, beyond trash. His style is slow and boring. Like, there's nothing exciting about this heel turn. Like, I feel like unless something like drastically changes over these, 27 dates he got, like, this is gonna be the worst way to end a career.
The thing that pisses me off the most about the heel turn is how we got to his heel turn. And the fact that how we got to his heel turn isn't even connected with him being the champion right now. That's kind of what really didn't make sense to me. Like, the turn was him siding with The Rock, and The Rock is not involved at all right now. There's just the inconsistencies in that. I'm excited to see him as a heel just because I know personally that's something that he wanted to do and wasn't given the ability to do for quite some time. So, like, I think he's earned the right to be able to go out the way he wants to.
Okay, I'll go next. I agree with Shad. I don't think that this heel thing is connecting, and a lot of it, if we're breaking kayfabe, has to do with him going out afterwards, and you see him interacting with fans. It's not the same person, and that's kind of hard to break the two, but it's seen now. We see all of it. I hated the match, and I didn't hate the match because of how it ended. Well, I'm sorry. I didn't hate the match because of the result. I hated the match in general. I felt like those two in the ring did not click. There was a lot. It was very slow, which is fine. Slow the pace. That's how you win. You beat them down, whatever. It just was not a cohesive match. And then we have an 8-minute entrance from Travis Scott.
Hey, he milked all that airtime, didn't he? That's what I'm talking about.
They determined to piss me off today. 8-minute. Now, granted, they're using your song as the theme song, or whatever.
Right.
Your belt is fire, but 8 minutes to do what? His actions in the ring were subpar. And how it finished was trash. You do all of these finishers, which devalues a finisher when you do it 17 times to win the match.
And both of them have to hit their finisher thousands of times before the win.
Right. And then one shot granted, I get it, the belt probably hurts, but like one shot, like I needed you to be a savage and beat him down and send him on his way.
Yeah.
I got feedback about that where
here we go.
I was told that it was a great match until the end. For me myself, legend, I think that was not a great match at all. As a matter of fact, if there were 10 matches, which I brought it up earlier, the main event, night 2, which is technically the main event of all of it, isn't even in my top 5.
I agree.
I enjoyed the Randy Joe Hendry interaction more than the championship match. The best part about the match was John Cena's new entrance with the black, which I thought was fire, and Cody Rhodes' Iron Man mask. That match was ass, and everybody who
I'm glad Cody got bit in it. I'm glad Cody got rid of that big ass helmet that he was wearing.
The one he had on last year.
Yeah.
For me, the match was just complete ass. I'm fine with how
And you were equally as let down by Travis Scott's entrance, right?
I mean, it was as far as the match goes, it made sense.
Hey, Shad, you missed your cue. So you were equally as let down by Travis Scott's entrance into the match.
If I never hear that song again,
let me.
And it's not like he even wore good. It's not even like he wore the good ones. I did check my phone in case some sneakers dropped on Sneakers app, but
right.
That was about it for me. I really dislike y'all. I really do. Eric Bischoff said the match was. A lot of people on social media, what is wrong with you, have said how bad that match was. But at the end of the day, we have a new 17-time champion, and the very next night on Raw, he met with the three most dangerous letters in the world.
Mm-hmm.
How'd y'all feel about that?
Lets me know that John Cena is going to retain at Backlash.
Yeah.
Anytime you get 2 licks in or more, and especially the last one before PLE, history tells you if you won that last interaction, you're losing at the PLE.
So, 2 questions for y'all. For this year's Mania, was there a match that was worse than my worst match of all time, which was
Talk about Super Kick Fest?
Super Kick Fest of last year?
At least that had passion. At least there was emotion tied to that. Brother versus brother, we've been waiting for years. At least there was passion. But I didn't feel anything for this match. And I'm not just trying to be difficult about it. I was hoping for something to catch me, why the absence of The Rock in all of this kind of pissed me off, even though he posted that picture that he was in Hawaii. He's done that before to throw people off. The absence of The Rock made no sense because now we have a floating story, and he went on Pat McAfee the next day and really told on everything, and it kind of pissed me off too.
So, but let's go back to the question. Will you go on record and say that Cena versus Rose is worse than Jay versus Jimmy from last year?
No, I won't.
I can't say that because of the stakes, but as far as like excitement for it, I was more excited about it before the match.
From an in-ring standpoint, there's no way I could say that Cena and Rose is worse than Super Kick Fest. But from a build-up standpoint, I was more excited to see the Usos in a match against each other.
I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Okay. And then my second question was, is it too early for Orton to be facing John Cena in this farewell tour?
I don't think so, just because of the way they did it. Like, we knew we were going to get Cena Orton at some point. And I think with them pulling the trigger on this early in the year, it gives us the ability to run it back later this year. That's why I like it. So we could possibly get Cena Orton more than once this year. Because if they waited to try to build to like SummerSlam or something like that, then you're kind of like grasping at straws to see when can we possibly get this to happen again. So I'm not mad at it.
Do you feel like he's going to be facing people more than once in this farewell tour?
Maybe just him.
Yeah, maybe probably just Orton.
Because I feel like he still needs to run it back with Cody at least once.
I think we get Cody taking the belt from him at the end of the year, like a Saturday night's main event or some shit.
Somebody put out a list of what they assume his matches will be, but yeah, the only reason I'm not okay with it this fast is because you assume he's losing. You assume that Randy's losing this match because of the time frame. He just got the belt, and it's only happening really because they're in Randy's hometown.
Yeah, and John Cena still needs time to ruin wrestling.
Which I thought he was going to do on Monday. But
that's a trash gimmick. Like, that's a trash motivation. This is like saying when Vince McMahon brought in like the NWO to like kill his company or something like that. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me.
Which also didn't help when The Rock told how everything was taking place. How you going to destroy wrestling and you're talking with the CFO.
I like how the notes are updating real time. I had my screen open when that's kind of cool.
But speaking of that, because I want to move on from this relatively quickly. We talked about the finishers a couple seconds ago, right? Where it took 17 finishers to finish off either one of them. But one RKO put you on your ass twice now?
Hey, man, because the RKO, the 3 most deadly letters, is RKO. Like, but it wasn't a finish. It wasn't a pin. So, there's potential that Cena could kick out of the RKO. But, like in true heel fashion, I'll just lay here. You all aren't going to get the pleasure of me getting hit with another RKO. Fuck y'all.
That is very fair. And I'm glad you said that. Because I do actually want to talk about pleasure. Can we talk about pleasure for a second, guys?
Okay.
Will you come with me on the pleasure train? Because I got a whole lot of pleasure.
You want us to come with you on the pleasure train?
Yes.
What? Hey, that might need to be the title of this episode. Come with me on the pleasure train.
Are you pleasure P now?
Is it grind on me?
Need the 3 of us.
Not on no pleasure train.
I need the 3 of us.
Put us on another train. Put us on the Amtrak. We'll roll with you on the Amtrak. We'll be in the quiet car.
I need the 3 of us to talk about how the profits are up and how this match should have been on WrestleMania. So I need each of us to talk about the match that took place on Friday. We're jumping around because, like I said, we missed a week. But this match was incredible. You had
honestly think. Oh yeah, go ahead.
You had DIY with a freshly shaven Tommaso Ciampa because he hurt his chin. You had the No Pop Patrol. I can't even think of their name right now.
Motor City Machine Guns.
Machine Guns still got no pop. And then the profits were up this match to finish off an amazing SmackDown. I need to know how y'all felt about it.
I think it was a dope match. Yeah, I think it was a really dope match. As I've said before, I feel like it's an injustice that this match wasn't on the Mania card, especially since there was so much trash on the Mania card, and they've been building up some rivalry with these tag titles for the last 6 months or so. I feel like it would have been easy to. It would have been easy, but it would also been the highlight of the weekend if they would have threw this up there. And you could have gave all these tag teams who I feel like deserve a Mania slot like a reputable match that they could have been in and could have held their own in. So even though that they probably wouldn't have got the length of time that they would have, got on SmackDown, but I still feel like they all deserve to be there, especially Street Profits, like especially DIY. And even like Motor City Machine Guns, like
Motor Shitty.
That's
their name.
We know what you meant.
Motor Shitty. But yeah, I feel like all of them deserve a spot on Mania, and this was their year to kind of get it and have a great match. So I feel like Trips definitely, missed the boat with this one.
I would just say really quickly, because I know GA is raring to go. You jump from the top rope onto a ladder and then get kicked in the head and fall through the ladder and then climb up the ladder. GA, go ahead, man.
If this match would have been on either Saturday or Sunday night, this would have been match of the weekend. Easily. And I think part of the reason why they didn't do it is because they knew how good that match was going to be, and it would have made all the other stuff that they held near and dear look terrible. And the match with the makeshift tag team of Becky and Lyra Valkyria, it either further pissed me off the fact they're a makeshift tag team that won the titles and then they lost them the next night. So why the fuck were they even on the show to begin with? But that's neither here nor there. That was an amazing match. It would have been match of the weekend. And then you know what? I'm gonna stay on track because we're talking about a certain somebody in another segment. So I'm gonna leave it at that. It was amazing. 5 stars.
5 stars. Like his phone place. I loved it. I low key was afraid because I think one of us said it at the event when the New Day won that they're not gonna have 2 black tag team champions. I was terrified that they were gonna lose that match several times. I'm glad that they didn't. I think that they made the right decision. That was a hell of a way to end the show.
Yeah. And that Raw tag team title match could have been on Raw. Like that match was trash. I just knew when they put it on Mania that Big E was gonna come out there. So for them to just have just a real super basic title match, they just wasted a slot right there.
You meant the men's.
I think. Yeah. I think they overvalue the New Day's name right now. They're not what they used to be. You know what I'm saying? I think if they had to compare the New Day and Street Profits, they feel that New Day has,
cachet,
resonates more with the fan. But nah, they don't. Not right now. Like the Profits are up. Like, you know what I mean? Give them the people what they want. But yeah, whatever.
The internet says that the only reason that match took place was because it was a TKO thing and there was some sort of brand deal that was in place. So sometimes you got to do what you got to do. But you mentioned something and it's not on our list, but I do want to talk about it. Becky Lynch, Lyra Valkyria. With that whole separation, do y'all care that they separated and now they're fighting for the IC title? Do y'all care?
Simply, no.
I care for the fact that they're actually going to be doing something with the women's IC title instead of it being just nothing. I feel like they probably should have did this to begin with, not necessarily with Becky, but to put it on somebody who actually has name value, who can actually boost it up. Like they could have did this with Bayley or anybody else, but just having it on Lyra, who like she's to me like in the same league as like Motor City Machine Guns, where like I do not care about her whatsoever. So to put a belt on her and then not to put like any feuds or have any feuds based around it, it's kind of made everything seem pointless. So hopefully, now that she's feuding with Becky's gonna take it off of her and then make it mean something.
I would prefer the NXT champion over the Intercontinental champion, but that's just me.
Is this okay? So it might not be next up, but I'm pretty sure the topic that's next up, we could bump that down because that's a big topic. I just want to go on record right now, and I want to say that Stephanie Vaquer has arrived. As far as aura, as far as in-ring work rate, I believe Stephanie Vaquer is probably, if not the best, she's like a 1A, 1B with regard to like work rate in ring. I'm just saying that, you know what I mean? That's my opinion. And a certain somebody, shout out to it was Dent, right? Shout out to Dent. I said that in response to the EO and Stephanie Vaquer match, which cooked. First and foremost, that match highlighted the lack of in-ring wrestling ability on the main roster for women, because EO has been in matches with she's been in matches with damn near everybody on the women's roster, and none of those matches were that.
Mm-hmm.
That's the truth. Stephanie Vaquer brought out the best in EO, and EO brought out the best in Stephanie Vaquer. EO hasn't had anybody bring that out of her. Like, that shit cooked. And I said that they did the right thing by putting Stephanie Vaquer in that spot, because Roxanne Perez is not on Stephanie's level. And it's not a slight at Roxanne Perez, but Stephanie Vaquer is her.
So you're not saying that Roxanne sucks, are you?
I'm not saying that she sucks. Okay. She's really, really good. She's really, really good. But Stephanie Vaquer is on another level. And then I further found out that when Stephanie Vaquer got the offer to come to the company, she got an option to debut on whatever show she chose.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
She chose to go to NXT because she wanted to work on her English. That's it. Now it's pretty evident what they really think about Stephanie Vaquer. Remember, they brought in Julia. They gave her all the pomp and circumstance. When Stephanie got there, that shit pivoted real quick, because it's a different aura. It's different in the ring. There's not a shot at Julia, but like Stephanie Vaquer she got the North American. She got the NXT Women's. Like, she's the only person that has held both of those titles and successfully defended both of them shits.
And it's only been about 4 months since she's really been.
It really is.
And she came up on Raw 2 weeks in a row and did her motherfucking thing, bro. Yes. So Stephanie Vaquer has arrived. I really think that within the next year or so, she will hold one of the main titles on the main roster. It's only a matter of time. She's just too fucking good, bro. She's been everywhere. She's been in every fucking real federation around the world. And it's not a slight at Roxanne Perez, but Stephanie has gained so much from every stop that she's been on, and you can see her be able to showcase that in the ring, man. She's phenomenal.
You just made me think of something. You know who that reminds me of? And again, no slight. It reminds me of Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu. Mm-hmm. And it's not to say that Solo isn't holding his own and can't carry things. But Jacob Fatu is it came in and things changed. Again, we still bang with Solo. But Jacob, I mean, we forgot all about that. Jacob just won his first title. First of many at Mania. And I don't know.
And that was actually a pretty good match, too, to be honest.
That was a good match.
It was. Yeah. It was.
It had some finishes on that one where it could have gone either way.
Yeah. Shout out to LaKnight.
Yeah. I want to talk about LaKnight a little bit later, but I think Jacob Fatu is going to have that belt for a while. And also I see how WWE is making sure that we understand that right now it ain't no separation. They threw us a little curveball where Solo said that he did everything and made Jacob who he is, but I think they're gonna fix that. I think that they're gonna fix that real quick.
And shout out to Dent, brother. Shout out to Dent. It's all love, man. It's all love, man.
Yes.
But Roxanne and on Steph. Yeah. Roxanne. Hey, we watch wrestling, and when we watch it, we can see that Roxanne Perez ain't on Stephanie Vaquer's level.
Anywhere.
But I will say that Stephanie has a trash finisher. That little package back.
The SVB?
Yeah, that's a trash move. Yeah,
But you
she
can
need to
do that
change
when
that.
you have what is it called, the devil's kiss. You can have a bad finisher when you have the devil's
Hey,
kiss.
hey,
Yeah.
the devil's kiss. I'm telling you, man. That's what the children. That's what the children and folks all around the world are clamoring for, and what they need to do. When she comes up on the main roster and she hits that joint, Booker T got to be on the announce team. Yeah.
Does Booker T get a patch for that, for making his Raw debut on the announce team? Because they're giving out those patches for that. But
Hey, he
actually,
need it, bro. I'm telling you, man. Like it got to the point now when she does it, she points at Booker T before she does it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the crowd was doing it for Booker T on Raw the other day, so
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was kind of pretty cool.
Yeah, and also it's a testament to what ring experience really does for you. In her match with Roxanne Perez,
The very next night,
the very next night, when she successfully defended the NXT Women's Championship, when she hit the doubles kiss, you could audibly hear Stephanie telling Roxanne, "Get on your knees,"
Mm.
because if you rewatch
Mm.
that move, like
I do the same.
she, yeah, okay, but she couldn't really do the move the way she normally does because Roxanne wasn't in the position the right way. So if you, because normally like she rises her whole body up and comes back down, but her feet were still on the ground because Roxanne wasn't there, and that's an experience thing, and
Mm.
that's and Roxanne to develop. You know what I'm saying? And she's still developing. And I think the pairing of her and Julia is going to be good for her.
Mm-hmm.
And Roxanne can talk. Julie is still working on her English. I think they would be a good tag team and pair well together because they both have areas that they can work on and
It's
they can
together.
feed off of each other's strong suits. I like that.
Yeah, I do feel like since they both about to pretty much are on the main roster, I do feel like Roxanne would be a prime candidate to be like women's IC champion though.
Hold
I feel
on,
like
it just hit me though. Liv needs time off. I feel like Julia and Roxanne take those belts.
Mm.
I could
I
see
can see
that.
that. I
That
can see
just
that.
hit me because I remember that the internet was talking about it. But you said something about the Intercontinental Champion, and I want to tie that back because there is a secondary women's title as well, and it's the U.S. Championship. And I know that we're bouncing around, but I want to make sure that we touch all of these. Did the wrong champion lose? Because I'm not a fan of my girl losing. You know, I support Chelsea Green, and my feelings are hurt.
I think
GA,
it was a random title win, but I feel like that's gonna be something quick. I feel like she's only gonna hold the title for a couple of weeks and hand it right on back.
I think they
You
only did
talk
it because
about
her husband debuted the same day. I think that's the
Right,
only
right.
reason.
Are you talking about our queen of the ring, Zelina Vega?
Did she do that? I forgot.
Yeah, she won Queen of the Ring.
No,
Um
okay. When?
I think I think it's good because it shut up. I think it's good because it gives that secondary title. It gives it another form of legitimacy, meaning that it's something that people can actually fight for. Like to say, all right, Chelsea Green won it, but now somebody else has it now. Like it can be moved around with Zelina Vega being a face. It opens up another spot for a heel to get into that title picture. So I ain't mad at it. And Zelina, the phenomenal ring wear that she has coming to the ring, like I could
You
see
no.
a good presentation with the belt.
I'm not letting that happen because you mean to tell me Zelina Vega, the person who carries things to the ring and doesn't use them, like that mask or whatever she had. You know what?
Hey,
I'm not going.
hey,
This is not the
hey,
portion of the show
hey,
where I go heel.
hey, and she looks good too.
Can we just say that Zelina Vega is way better off just being a manager?
I believe so. But maybe this title reign might actually open up something that she does better in the ring. You never know.
She's been
What does she do
doing
in the? What does she do
yeah,
good in
yeah,
the
yeah,
ring
yeah.
now? That's okay.
Whatever.
Okay. No. I mean, it's fine. The
But
six one. Six one.
she's a phenomenal manager. She's
Tell me,
phenomenal.
tell me the last time you appreciated her 619. All
Or
right,
her
cool.
code red that Roxanne Perez does way better than her.
Way better.
Oh, and you know
Way
who
better.
does it? And you know who does it better than Roxanne?
You always start trouble.
Stephanie
All right,
Vaquer.
let's move on. Because we were also talking about things that took place at Mania. The last part of it was Paul Heyman changing sides. Now, I think all of us saw it coming,
Hmm.
but I did not think Monday, what took place on that Monday, was happening, and that was the addition of Braun Breaker.
That was completely out of left field, just like that spear. that he hit because nobody saw that coming. I like that. I like the fact that he's being paired with phenomenal talkers, people that are respected. He's gonna gain a lot, and then when they eventually split, it's gonna catapult him to the top of the card. Because there's going to be a feud between him and Seth, and I think, and that feud is gonna feed families. Yep. So I like it. He's a believable muscle for that faction.
Yeah, I feel like if this is the opportunity to really like firmly position Seth as like the guy, then now is the time to do it. And having somebody like Braun Breaker right beside you, and maybe even more people beside you, is only going to position him up there. Because I feel like probably for the last 2 or 3 years, he's been a top guy, but not really a top guy. Like
who, Seth?
Yeah. He's been like right under like a B tier underneath of Roman, Cody, and Punk. But I feel like he's supposed to be up there as well, but there's something that's stopping him. So I feel like this is the opportunity with Paul Heyman, who can, big him up, kind of give him the ropes, but also having Braun Breaker, maybe even like a Austin Theory or somebody else kind of, with him as well. That's really going to push him up to the guy, and he'll be the guy for the next couple of years.
Or Becky Lynch.
So I had two statements on that. I like that. I like that a lot. I'm still trying to understand the pairing of Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins. You said Austin Theory. If we were predicting, I would say LA Knight. GA, if you were adding a third guy, who would you add to? And maybe they don't add anybody because it starts to be like a stable and you get your 3 guys as a shield, or the evolution and all that. But if you were to add a guy, who would it be?
From like what brand?
I mean, they can do what they want with this. Yeah. I don't believe in this brand split anymore.
If I could add a person, it would have been Aleister Black.
To this? I just don't see him as a subordinate. Wasn't he just leading the faction?
Yeah, but I think it gives him the ability to still be mysterious because Heyman will be doing all the talking. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, he's the Braun's the muscle. Aleister Black will be the assassin.
I just don't see him coming out together like that. That.
Yeah, because you also got to think of like they got to mesh well together though.
Yeah. I mean, we all got that one weird friend, but
yeah, because if you think about it, remember Buddy Matthews was with Seth Rollins before he left, right?
Yeah,
but he wasn't like that. He was weird, but not like this.
Yeah, but Buddy ended up being in a faction with Aleister Black. So, I mean, if anybody can make it work, it would be Paul Heyman. But, that's just wishful thinking. But if I had to go with something on Raw, it would probably be, is he on Raw? But, it'd be dope to see Carmelo Hayes with them.
They've thrown out, some black wrestlers, and I just don't see a black wrestler being with them, to be honest with you. Like, they threw out Trick, they threw out Omos. I'm like, I don't see none of that, dog.
I'm still holding out hope that when Grande Americana takes his mask off, it's Omos. So
I thought it was Vince McMahon. But you mentioned Becky Lynch, and I want to touch on that really quickly. Is it me, or after that promo on Monday, doesn't her story sound just the same as Seth's? Like, it's best for business. You friends with my enemies. It sounds like the same story to me that Seth was saying about Cody and then Roman and all of those things when they were asking for help. Am I tripping?
Well, I mean, they live together. So naturally, they're probably going to start seeing things the same way.
They do a lot of this together too.
Yeah.
Wow.
Through the same scope.
Get so clear on your camera when you
through the same scope of delusion, they are seeing life.
But a woman added to that faction.
Becky's riding the pleasure train.
Oh yeah.
Wow. Okay, let's go on to our next topic. Phone, please unlock.
Yeah, and Seth is at the caboose.
Yo. So okay, so I was about. God, I don't know how to.
Hey, remember on Color Purple when they were talking about what was her name? Squeak clean it up. He was like, they're sweeping up the caboose.
Focus. We only got a couple of minutes with Sean, and I want to touch on this before he has to go. So we saw how that match ended. We saw how CM Punk looked over at Roman after the defeat. We saw how they looked at each other after Raw after they got beat up. What do y'all think about? I don't know if they're still doing War Games this year based on internet rumors, but what do you think? What do they need? Because they got to fight back at some point. But right now it's 2-on-2, but I feel like there's somebody else coming on either side.
I think what I've been hearing is that we're potentially going to get some sort of faction, like maybe like another rebrand of the Shield. Because if you think about it, CM Punk had something to do with the Shield initially.
They were there for him, right?
Yeah. So I think we get a Roman and Punk, actually the enemy of my enemy, like, you know what I'm saying, unites me. And also I think we also get the debut of the one, the only Hickey Sticky.
By Hickey Sticky, Jesus, you mean Hikaleo?
Hikaleo, yeah.
We get some in here, but ain't had no matches or nothing.
Hey, we get some Hickey Sticky, man. You know what I'm saying? It's Roman can talk, Punk can talk, and Hickey can just, he could just be there. He could just be a presence. He could just be muscle, and he could learn a lot. So I'm rooting to get a little Hickey Sticky in the ring, bro.
Hickey Sticky.
Well, with Roman never being on TV, you would be trusting him with CM Punk most of the time, so he's not getting his butt kicked, which makes sense. So you always have backup for Punk. Yeah. I don't hate it. There was another Samoan that was waiting around though, wasn't it?
Is it?
I can't remember, but he signed.
Is Hikaleo? Is it Lance Anoa'i?
Mm-hmm. Maybe it's Lance. No, this ain't Lance. This ain't for Lance. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this ain't.
Yeah.
The moment we've all been waiting for. At least I have. On our agenda. Get your sip of water, brother. You know what I'm saying? Because I want you to. Yeah, I don't want you to be parched as you're going full heel. Now coming to the stage, we have Brother Heel Legend, who is going to drop a promo on WWE Unreal and the new Stephanie McMahon show. Have at it, baby.
All right. I have.
Damn, did your lighting in there just change too?
Yeah, I had to make it. I had to make it a little dark.
Oh shit!
Because my feelings are hurt right now, and I made a quick video on the Kayfabe Cowboy Instagram. Make sure you follow us there. I understand as a 40-plus-year-old adult that wrestling is predetermined. I will not call it fate because it's still sports, it's still entertainment. These people are putting their lives at risk every single time that they enter that ring. But there's, for me, when I go to a magician or magic show, I don't go ask the magician, hey, how'd you do that? When I watch a Marvel movie, if I want to, I can watch behind the scenes. I understand that the Hulk is CGI. I get that. But I also don't need to see how he was designed. I don't need to see the drawing. I don't need to see the claymation. I don't need any of that. And for me, and I've said this in our conversations in person, I believe there's too much kayfabe being broken. What I mean by that is you have Triple H on the WWE page saying, hey, I created the entrance for Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa, and this is this and this is that and that. I get it. You are the chief. What is it?
Chief content officer.
So everything is content. You know that Rashad knows everything is content.
I feel like that should be my new title, Chief Content Officer.
I mean, you gotta get a better beard if you're trying to.
You be the CC.
Yeah, CCO. That's me.
You know what? I'm fine with that.
What about King Content?
I like CCO better.
Okay.
Man, I just changed.
Anyway, and if you all remember back to was it Royal Rumble? Jey Uso won. There were two people behind the curtain. One was his brother. One was Jacob Fatu.
Mm-hmm.
In a bright pink Yeet shirt, congratulating him, giving him his water, blah, blah, blah. That same Friday, it was Jacob Fatu telling Jay that he was a punk ass nigga and wasn't never gonna win shit and all this other stuff. So, yes, we're adults. Yes, we understand that this is, predetermined. It's scripted content. Mm-hmm. I don't need to see all of the behind the things because for me, and for many others from what I'm reading on the internet, it's too much. Now, they have a show called WWE Unscripted, where they are now letting us into the writer's room of what's taking place in WWE. Now, let me back up a little
unscripted,
bit.
Not Unreal. My apologies. Unscripted.
Unreal, yeah. No, it's the WWE Unreal. You're right. Here's the thing. I love a good documentary. I've watched almost everything that's on Netflix, that's on Peacock now about WWE, except the one about the guy who passed. I can't think of his name right now.
Yeah, they got some good stuff on the.
They got some good stuff. That's decades or years later. You're telling me that you are now on this summer going to put out a show telling me about WrestleMania, telling me about the Royal Rumble. There was one segment on there already where Triple H is talking to Jay and said, I'm going to put a rocket on your back. I don't need to see, and I don't have to watch it, but this is what we do. So I'm going. You did change it. Wow. It's one of those things that's too far. And from what I just watched earlier today, there are wrestlers upset because their name was on that chalkboard when they were talking about Mania to be part of Mania, and it wasn't there. So now you got backstage people pissed off because they're seeing stuff like, wait, I had a shot? What do you mean?
Subject to change.
It is. What if subject to change, I never even knew I had a shot? What did I do? Now I want to know what I did to mess up. Now I'm bothering you. Now I'm fired. Whatever. Now let's get to Stephanie's show. I think that Stephanie deserves, all the accolades for being that bridge between her daddy and Triple H, her new daddy. Whatever. But for you to have a show where you now have, because I haven't watched it because I don't pay for that extra programming. I thought it was on YouTube.
I'm not gonna watch it.
But you had the latest episode was all of the Usos on a yacht, all the Samoans on a yacht with Sami Zayn, and we're all talking like everything is normal. No, I now know that Solo's middle name is Yokozuna. Stuff that I don't need. Like, we're going too far into breaking the character. It's like Urkel. Urkel, so long he was stuck in that character. He's now Urkel for the rest of his life. You're giving me so much of this other
he needs to try to be Stefan. That's what he needs to try to do.
You're giving me too much to where I don't know if I can now enjoy the content that I'm seeing because you're showing me too much of the backstage stuff before I'm even understanding what I'm watching up front. It pisses me off. I don't like it. And I understand that, again, content is everything. But I think that they're going too far. There should be some sort of kayfabe. Undertaker used to beat people's ass literally for potentially breaking kayfabe. Now we're saying, tell him everything.
Keep kayfabe alive, yeah.
Hey, it's been a long time since Mean Mark has been on the prowl. So, you know what I mean? He's not policing all of the things about keeping the business sacred. The only person that's doing anything to keep something sacred is the ring general. He keeps the mat sacred, but whatever.
I will hop in and just say real quick, I feel like this is probably the result of not having wrestling people run a wrestling company. Like for a while, Vince McMahon made sure that, hey, we're going to make sure some of this stuff is private because it'll mess up the business. But when you got people who run sports entertainment companies or, UFC companies, and they're like, hey, we could do this little wrestling thing too. Okay, well, some things are very particular and specific to wrestling that is not the same with UFC. Like, you could do this in UFC and it'll make sense. But if you do this in wrestling, then you're going to mess up the product. And I feel like that's what it's doing. And I feel like Triple H is really just saying, okay, let's do it. Like, it'll be dope.
He's got to pay them bills.
Yeah.
I don't think he has a choice, honestly.
I think it's a TKO thing. But I did forget one talking point. You have WWE, you have NXT, you have LFG, you have Evolve. There are so many things to where we're understanding that wrestlers aren't just built. They don't come out of the factory like that. So you have to build up and you teach them characters. I get all of that. Maybe one day if I go through this, I could be a wrestler too. You see the progression because I watched the documentary on the federation that Roman came from, the federation that Seth came from. You look at them and you go, oh, I would have never picked you to be the next it guy. Yeah. I get that portion of it. I get the changing the names, like Callie Armstrong. That ain't her real name. They gave her a name because her arms look strong and she's from Cali. Cool. There's still some of that. But for me, it's just like there is no door anymore. There's not even a curtain. You have all of the steps from college. Though they graduate from college, this is where they train. Once they finish training here, they're going to go to NXT. We've seen it, and it's too much. That's I'm gonna step down.
Things have changed, and this is the new era that we're in, man. Like the era that we grew up on, like believing that the Undertaker like really died when he got buried alive, like it's gone. You know what I'm saying? Like, believing that Kane couldn't talk, like it's gone. Believing that Kofi Kingston was Jamaican, it's gone. All of the kayfabe things Brute, like the fact that I'm pretty sure Brutus the Barber Beefcake was not a barber, but we believed it. But here we are, man. Like but it's my vice. It's my love, and I'm just happy to be in a position to critique it.
I thought that the voice thing, I sat on the edge of my, when they broke into the house with the gun, I thought all of that was real. When you take away all of it, I wonder because I told y'all, when we first got up here or started doing this, there was some time I took a break and I was like, because it got too stupid. I hope we're not entering that same phase because you're just giving me too much. There's too much content to consume, first and foremost.
Yeah, that's true.
But it's just a lot, and I'm just like, we're getting back to that corny phase where it's like it's way too much, and it's every day, and it's
I don't think it's becoming corny
them.
yet, but I just feel like you said, I feel like it's way too much content, and nobody's really watching all of this content. Like it's mad just wrestling. You could really watch wrestling every day, which is
every single day.
I think it's cool if we weren't adults. Like if I was still a kid and like super into it, I'd be like, okay, I could watch wrestling every day.
I'd watch everything.
You think so?
But
even this stuff?
Now that we have a life and we're adults, like, hey, I barely can watch Raw and SmackDown, dog. Like I watch clips and then that's pretty much it. So everything else is just seemed overkill to me. But yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna go out here on a limb. Before we close out, for me, match of the year so far, Io Sky, Stephanie Vaquer.
You hyping it?
I'm really not. I'm really not.
I didn't watch all of it, so I can't say that it was.
No,
that triple threat tag team match.
Go back and watch that match, bro. Like there was nothing at stake for that match, and they ate as if they were the Mania main event.
Listen, I gave that a high rating, and so did somebody else. They gave it a very high rating, which was actually a better rating than they gave the Cody match, but still said the Cody match was great. Yeah, Dan, I'm talking about you.
I give it 5 stars, and the fact that, and another thing that lets me know what they think about Stephanie Vaquer, like she didn't get pinned in that match. It got ended in a DQ. Yeah. So they got big plans for her because she can't come up there and take a pin because it makes her look weak. So yeah, that's all I got for the week. That's all I got.
I feel like we're bringing hot takes back. If GA, that was your hot take, Nick, do you have?
All right, so wait a minute. If we bring back hot takes, remember, Shad, you used to call them your Harlem Heat hot take. We got to get the theme music. We got to get the theme when we. So I think we could do this as a content thing. Like everybody has their hot take for the week, and then we get the Harlem Heat theme music playing behind that jank.
All right, we can do it.
Leading off with Hogan, coming for you, nigga. Yeah.
My hot take of the week. I like the New Day on commentary. I have never laughed as much as I laughed with Xavier. Oh, look at him. Yeah, he moves well. He doesn't miss a meal. Oh, so it's cool when he does it because he's fat. I thought it was hilarious, and I know that you're not supposed to fat shame. I thought it was gold. It made the match watchable for me. I could go for it every week.
Okay. My hot take is, and some people might be upset with this, but I feel like the Triple H honeymoon phase is over with. I feel like he dropped the ball on this Mania, and even like leading up to this Mania, I feel like he dropped the ball. So I feel like the honeymoon phase that he's been in for like the last year, 2 years is done with. We might see some trash coming out pretty soon.
That's why they put him in the Hall of Fame now, so you remember at his highest. And we talked about it briefly, and we don't have to go into it too deep. The Rock on Pat McAfee basically said he hated how the match ended. There were some things that he would change. The Rock got called from TKO to help bring ticket sales. The Rock is basically saying that they're skipping over Triple H and coming to me because stuff ain't right.
Because he's the final boss.
That can't be. But you're the boss, and we've all been either supervisors or had supervisors who was like, the job, but you ain't in it every day. Like Triple H is in it every day, so why they calling you?
Mm-hmm.
So it's one of those things where it's like, is he losing the trust? Because like you said, in my opinion, he stunk up this Mania. It could have been one night, and the way that what is the Backlash is shaping up, that ain't going too well either. We got a Pat McAfee Gunther match.
Hey,
I actually want to see that.
Pat McAfee cut the promo of the year so far, bro.
He damn sure did. But when he get in that ring, he gonna turn red again.
Yeah, he is. Pat McAfee gonna hit us with a moonsault though.
Yeah,
just like he did on Adam Cole. So we're gonna get the Pat McAfee moonsault.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. But we got 2 weeks before the next PLE, and I think that they be rushing it. That's all I got.
Yeah.
Well, I think that we've covered a lot here. I think we've left our seats on the pleasure train, and we're pulling into the station. Chugga.
Pulling in is what you want to go with right now.
We're pulling into the station. We're about to disembark. Yeah, man. So
some of us about to go from the pleasure train to the whole train.
And then some of us are about to go from there to the no train. Anyway,
They don't watch it, so we're safe.
Anyway, yeah. So, all right, y'all. Hey,
You can find me everywhere, Shy Harris. Follow me on Instagram at Shy Harris. Follow me on YouTube at Shy Harris. Make sure you subscribe. I put up a new product up there, so make sure you check that out. But also, make sure you check out Kayfabe Cowboys. We're trying to get the subscribers up on YouTube, do some great things. But make sure you subscribe to that.
Brother Legend, where can the folks find you when you're not at POC?
Well, about to say I'm about to be shaking ass again this weekend, so trying to make some money this opening weekend.
Mr. Rum and Red Bull.
Listen, the non-melanated people are funny when they drink. It is hilarious. Thoroughly gonna enjoy that. But outside of that, you can find me at the Kayfabe Cowboys Instagram. Also, follow me on _legendary_mixes because the boy is back. So if you need to book something, please do. And I am legend_716. No, I'm not from New York. That is my birthday. Follow me on Instagram. That's all I got.
All right, you can find me here at the Kayfabe Cowboys podcast at Kayfabe Cowboys. Also, you can find me on Instagram currently at It's Zach Morris.
You were changing that at me after Mania. What happened to that?
See, the thing was, I just wanted my name, Jervis, to be it. Somebody has that hasn't posted since 2013.
But then you
so
Jervis Jr.
Yeah, like I gave it a trial run. I didn't like the way it didn't fit. Pause. So I'm thinking of some things right now. So currently you can find me at It's Zach Morris on Instagram, at It's_Zach Morris on the Twitter machine. And most importantly, you can find me here on the Kayfabe Cowboys podcast. And yeah, man, I think we've done a lot of things. So you all stay safe. And remember, Brett screwed Brett, Rocky die. We out of here. Peace. Kayfabe Cowboys sticks together.